Meghan Markle here.
Today is May 5th, 2025. It is 5:37 a.m. I just finished edit whatever I recorded a couple days ago. So I had this group of tweets left and I added to it. There are a couple articles I would like to read. So let's go straight to Twitter, okay? I may not even record all of it because I have to wake up my kids in a few. There's gonna be noise. Alright, so this is the first tweet. I didn't click on this, but I can seriously guess what it says. Harry must prove he is serious about reconciliation by not asking for security any longer and bringing his kids without Meghan to the UK to visit their sick grandfather. He must also apologize. This is her opinion, okay? She's giving her opinion based on this article. She's saying she didn't read it, but she assumed this is what the article is making reference to, okay? Keep that in mind. He must also apologize for all of the things he has said, even though everything he said was true, but he must apologize anyway. He also must not ask for any apologies from the royal family, even though they're to blame for 99% of what's going on. Like I've said, they don't, not in this video, they, the royal family, are the one who create everything. All the burden, unnecessary burden that Harry and Meghan are going to, they're the one who created, manufactured because of their freaking ego, of racism, of everything. And then they expect people to apologize for that, even though they're to blame for 99% of what's going on. I bet I summed it up perfectly. All right, let's see here. This is the headline. Harry must do if he really wants reconciliation with his father, and why Charles can't speak to him about legal dispute revealed by the king's biographer. This is when Harry said where the royal family will pretty much spoon-fed the tabloid of what to say, and then at the end they will say something like they reach them for comment and blah blah blah.
Criticisms that you've received is that, well, okay, fine, you want to move to California, you want to step back from the institutional role, why be so public? You say you tried to do this privately.
And every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. You know, the family motto is never complain, never explain, but it's just a motto, and it doesn't really hold.
There's a lot of complaining and a lot of explaining.
Endless.
Private being done through leaks.
Through leaks. They will feed or have a conversation with the correspondent, and that correspondent will literally be spoon-fed information and write the story, and in the bottom of it, they will say that they've reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told for the last 6 years, we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point when silence is betrayal.
Harry knows that thing. I mean, I wish Harry well, and I wish he content with what he has, because even though when Meghan wasn't even in the picture, he was dealing with his own issue with them as well, because they were always putting nonsense on the tabloid about him, and he kept on saying he wants his boundary, his respect, his privacy. They refused to give it to him. So, you know, it's just sad they're inflicting these onto his kids, who are pretty much, and Meghan too, who are innocent to this. So again, let's package this, give it to God. Okay, here's the archive version. Basically, it's saying all UK courts are beholding to the king, and there's no such thing as independent court in the UK. That was a comment I was reading in one of my videos where I said maybe maybe Harry's gonna sue his father and stuff. One of the comment make reference to that. And what did I respond to? Did I respond to it? I don't remember what I said. But anyway, I'll click on it. so you guys could read it. Maybe at some point I'll come and read it, but I'm running out of time. But it's not that long though. Okay, so she pretty much sums it up. Okay, I'm not gonna read it. The link will be in the description. Okay, what Harry must do when his father passes away, not to let the kids touch UK soil, because by then Willie will probably trap both Harry and Meghan by whisking the kids away. He can't. Charles can, because he is the grandfather. From my understanding, again, you guys could correct me. They said the grandparent, there's a rule that was made by some old king because he wanted to have some sort of connection with his grandkids, and they create that rule. Charles can, but William can't. So it's okay for Harry to keep the... I'm sure by now Meghan already knows those rules, so those kids cannot leave Meghan's side. Okay, the kids will be under Willie's reign once Charles is gone. Yep, except for the word graveling. There's 2. Harry can't take Archie and Lily out of the US without Meghan's consent. That's US law. Let's see here. There's 2 comment here. All right. She will never let them go. It's not going to happen. All or nothing. Yeah, I agree with that. All or nothing. If you cannot expect his family, forget that. They're not doing him any favor anyway. All right, and his apology, he must also publicly say how wonderful Charles, Camilla, William, and Kate are. That's not gonna happen. Harry isn't a liar, so this ain't going to happen. Oh, please, that would make me... There's the vomit here. All right, let's go to the next one, okay? You could pause and read this, but I need to move on. It's already 5:42, and I need to wake up my kids. I may not even edit this tonight, or this morning should I say. Next tweet. Despite UK media gaslighting, Charles' actions show he does not care about Archie and Lily. Charles didn't bother to see them or attend Lily's birthday when they visit Queen Elizabeth II. Yeah, I mentioned that, I believe, in the video that I just edited. Shortly after Queen Elizabeth's death, he took away their UK home. He then attended Lily's christening and blacks them from UK visits. Okay? He sucks in my book. Right? Only people in his paternal family who have met Lily is the Queen and Harry's brother. Harry's brother. Did William come and see them? I don't think William did. Only people in his paternal family who have met Lily is the Queen and Harry's brother. I don't think so. I know Philip did. No, was that during the christening? Philip. Okay, I'm not sure about that. You guys could correct me on that. I don't think William came to visit him. The rest of them made it a point to brief the media that they were shunning her first birthday party, then even let the niece and nephews come with the other cousin. Just nasty work. All right, let's see if somebody responds to that. Come on. Harry's brother, William. William has never met Lily. He made sure his pals and the British media were aware of his location at time during the Sussex stay in the UK. He literally avoided them. Charles, Camilla, William, or Kate never met Lily. Okay, delete this. This is not the time to be spreading false. I don't know. Maybe she believes something. I don't know. This is a squaddy. So, Lily, none of the 4 left behind has. The only thing I needed to know about Charles was that he left infant Archie, new mother Meghan, and his own son unprotected in Canada, with the whole world knowing exactly where they were. There has never been any way of sugarcoating that. I have not looked at him the same since. All because they can control a tiny woman. Don't they ever heard the term, if you can't win, you may as well join in? Harry and Meghan don't bite. Those people, they've been getting their way. That's the thing here. They've been getting their way since the day they were born. So this is what, well, what is it? Charles is old, so I don't know if he will ever feel the unnecessary pain he has inflicted on other people, Diana, Harry, and countless of others. But William, he should have known. All because they can't control. Okay, I read that. I wish he'd only didn't care and left them alone, but he actively tries to harm them by letting the trash media attack them, about inciting hatred and violence, and worse, getting involved and denying them security. That's like triple wrong and just evil. Can't wrap my head around it. Okay, he used Archie's birthday for his coronation, yet he didn't invite them. I think he is mental. or ritualist. Otherwise, I don't understand his mental compass. I hope Harry takes the hint that Charles and William are perfectly happy to put in his family in danger. I feel like he knows, he understands, but there are things that needs to be put in public record. I think this is what is being played now, public record. People who have been following this know very well that all these things that he's facing are due to his father or his family. Okay, things have gotten worse since the Queen passed. And then people understand what Princess Diana went through due to that horse that's next to him. So I think it's putting things on record for people to know what is going on, because so much lies have been put on the papers and things like that. They refused to tackle the issues that were said in court, but instead they fixated on the narrative that they've been putting on the tabloid. Okay, it's two different things. What's going in court and what's going in the tabloid. So his side of the family, the blood royals, are focusing on the tabloid aspect alone. But what went on in court, they're not repeating that. It's Harry who's putting things that he said in court out there so people will know. So this is what's happening here. All right, this is the next tweet here. I have to give praise to ByLine Tims, who didn't just swallow Palace talking point, but actually did the job of real journalists. They investigated and exposed what the Sussexes were up against. All right, let's see. This one I will read. If it takes me too long, I may not finish. Oh my God, it's pretty long. But ByLine, it's worth reading. All right, so what's the topic again? The truth about Megxit. How long ago? 2023. I must have read it already. Yeah, forget that. I'll leave the link. I think I've read it in one of some of my old videos. I thought it was recent. All right, so let's move on. Read some of the comments. Rainbow Retreat, the silent collapse of corporate pride. What is that? Okay, what happened when the... Okay, so this is something different. They are probably one of the only credible journalists out there. They actually report on facts. I have so much respect for them. I don't know how they dare to, in the media environment they exist in. All right, they had to create their own. It wasn't too long they started. I think a little bit after the 2020. I could look it up, but yeah, power to all that is ByLine. Right. What I find hard to believe is their brazenness. If they know they're telling the truth, they're doing the investigation. Now, if they call them to court, they have proof and they could back up their claim. That's a different story. So the tabloid who's running their mouth with lies, they're more afraid than the people who's telling the truth. All right. So whatever is there. Okay, this I'm not going to read. What I find hard to believe is their brazenness. The entire world can see what they've done. They know the entire world can see surely, and they just DGAF. Okay, they just don't give a damn. Okay, a F, because they're untouchable. That's exactly that. Because they know they're untouchable. If you look at Meghan's case, when Meghan was suing the paper for writing her letter she sent to her father, they felt comfortable to do that because they had the backing of the institution. And you see also, if you look into it, that when Meghan thought that the palace was helping them, the palace, lawyer was helping them, but instead they were stalling, and when Meghan realized they're not going to do anything about it, she decided to get her own lawyer. So the palace was holding Meghan back from suing the paper, so the papers felt confident that Meghan is not going to do anything because they knew the palace was going to hold her back from suing. And they were blindsided that Meghan decided to get her own lawyer. Okay, so this is the thing here that this person is saying. They're untouchable because they know they have people the right place to cover for them, to turn a blind eye, similar to Ipso, where Harry used to go to Ipso because the paper were writing nonsense about him, and Ipso always turn a blind eye. And then Harry doesn't go to them anymore. Harry goes straight to the court. All right, so it's the same thing. So I agree with this person, whatever they say here, because they felt like they're untouchable. Okay, imagine what 8 out of 10 of the world think of them, though. Privately, they're awful horrible. Okay, wow. There you have it. The very, very cool firm who sold his own son, his wife, and his grandchildren down the river to protect himself. It's time the monarchy was abolished, not protected. Okay, my God. When Tyler Perry said they could have said a lot more, he wasn't kidding. The palace tried to stitch them up like keepers. Thank God for Tyler, Doria, and America. We need to keep on praying. Look with the direction the country is going on right now. All right, let there be light and for the American people. To Harry and Meghan, please, please, please stay away from all of them. This is bone-chilling evil. All right, so that was 15 hours ago. Let's go to the next tweet. There's more comment. Let's move on. I will leave the link of those articles in the description for you guys. Okay, please stop embarrassing yourself. Isn't Charles the one who act like a spoiled brat when he can't get his pen to work? He's in his 70s. What he's making reference to is after the Queen passed, there was some documentation he was supposed to sign, and then when something happened to the ink, he could, I have the video, I could just show it to you. Let's continue. He's in his 70s. I'm sure he's never cooked an egg in his entire life, and y'all celebrate that weird behavior. All right, so that's from Carol Malone. Prince Harry, 40 years old and still bleeding like a spoiled baby. He doesn't get his own way over security. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Some of the women are part of the problem. Baggage forgot. That's all. Let me just not be human right now. Let me just say baggage forgot. Immediately attacks his father, who has cancer. Oh, God, that freaking cancer thing they keep on putting out there. Wasn't she the one who said Charles doesn't have cancer in one of those videos? Is that the same person? I could be wrong. Accuses him of interfering with the judicial process. This man is a cruel, self-pitiness idiot. Britain is better off without him. God, Lord, please do your thing. Please do your thing. I can't believe this thing. Why do people think once you have a cancer, you've beyond a reproach? He was an a-hole before the cancer, and he still is. Cancer doesn't make him off limits. My own daddy passes from cancer, and I fuss at him a lot during his treatment. They're gonna use cancer as a shield forever. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Okay, and then he refused to stop. That's the thing here. They refuse to stop inflicting unnecessary pain onto them. Alright, but this is not just the same bitter old hag that stated on Jeremy Vine that Charles does not have cancer. Okay, there it is. That was like, I think that's her, but I'm not sure because I don't follow these people. Sometimes I get confused with their name. So there it is. She was the one who said it. Alright. At Jeremy Vine that Charles does not have cancer. Malone with her beat out, withered looking old foul self, now faking selective amnesia about spoiled Charles, need to crawl back under herself KDMT. The British are the original of gaslighting. Her post was ridiculous. Who listened to the rant of Malone? She's a bitter, twisted old hag, irrelevant and everything she says and does. It's true, there's the B word here. They are cut from the same cloth. It is what happened when you have never had to do anything for yourself your entire life and you are put on a pedestal because of whose vagina. Oh my God. You pop out of Charles, Andrew, and Harry all come from the same. William is probably better at hiding it. Let me leave that alone. Let's go to the next one. Oh my goodness. Next tweet. Okay, and 5 more minutes and then I go wake up the kids here. Heads are rolling. There's the laugh. Here, BBC balls being squeezed up as usual. Okay. Today, Radio 4, 3 May 2025. The program covered the latest development and the story of Prince Harry and his legal case around protection for him and his family in the UK and interviewed former close protection officer Richard VIII to get a broader understanding of security consideration, claims were repeated that the process had been, quote, an establishment stitched up, end quote, and we failed to properly challenge this and other allegations. This case is ultimately the responsibility of the Home Office, and we should have reflected their statement. Like I said, I didn't watch all of the interview of Harry's BBC interview. I think there's like a 30 minutes of it. I only saw 4 minutes and 35 seconds of it. So it seems like they're somewhat claiming that there are things they could have raised while they interview Harry, but they didn't say it. Am I getting that correct? All right, quote, we are pleased that the court has found in favor of the government's position in this case. The UK government's protective security system is rigorous and proportionate. It is our long-standing policy not to provide detailed information on those arrangements, as doing so could compromise their integrity and affect individual security, end quote. We also should have given the view of Buckingham Palace, quote, all of these issues have been examined repeatedly and meticulously by the court with the same conclusion reached on each occasion. This was a lapse on our usual high editorial standard. Okay, so I see what's happening here. They give the part of whatever happened in the court, but they want to make sure to let people know the palace is saying now, you better put this disclosure here, that the court had reviewed the thing thoroughly. So it's to like to give to praise the palace. This is the way that I'm seeing here, that as if the palace had nothing to do with it. But meanwhile, during the review process and everything like that, where there are people who work, why didn't they say that as well? In that same statement, why didn't they also say that there are people who work in the palace who also work in Ravik? And then I believe there's some place I read that the judges had asked the palace and which way they should go about it. So they left all of this out. But okay. It's because Harry lost. They want to make sure they put this disclosure here. Okay, pathetic. How much has this debacle cost the idiot who pays the BBC license fee under threat of imprisonment if they don't cough up? Okay, I don't know what's going on in the UK, but I sort of have an idea. At BBC, you are coward. We do not care what King Tampon thinks, but he really got you guys by the balls and squeezing so tight. Oh my God, there's the laugh here. Only one view matters to me, and that HRH Prince Harry. Harry tells his truth with his own words. King Tampon uses sources to tell lies to mislead the public. Okay, we don't need the BBC or Buckingham Palace to tell us what to think. We heard what Prince Harry said and now have clarity. The king does not seek to protect his son and family, and that other countries out not to protect him. It was never a court case, as King Charles decides. Let's see here, there's one comment. One king doesn't decide. Oh, please. We see what's going on. Okay, we see what's going on. What a shocker. Glad Harry spoke up and aired on the BBC platform straight to the dinner table. The world will never forget those chilling words and the reality of the evil royal family playing a part in the justice system. F them. All right, it's extraordinary to see the media ignoring the judge's ruling that the basis of the case cannot be established legally. Oh, there was that part that was said. Okay, I was not aware of that. Okay, so the judges are probably trying to protect themselves as well. Okay, so I didn't see all of the document. This is what I'm saying. What I saw is what I share with you. It is extraordinary to see the media ignoring the judge's ruling that the basis of the case cannot be established legally. That does not ethically and morally exalt the cruel King Charles and his henchmen of their duty of care to his son. Okay, so this part I didn't know, the court said. Okay, I cannot apologize for what I didn't know. Okay, if I had aware of it, maybe some of the thing I've said in the past will have framed around that. So this is the first time. Let me bookmark that. Maybe one of these days I try to look for it. Okay, it's exactly 6 o'clock now. Usually high editorial standard. So they allow themselves to be manipulated by Charles. Again, nobody holds the royal family accountable for their action making themselves complicit in this lawlessness. Too late, BBC already prioritized the clicks and views. There's a laugh here. They are triggered. Oh dear. This makes the monarchy look worse than it already does. Wow, they are spending. What's wrong with the interview? An expert who is giving his opinion. All right, so that's that. All right. Let me wake them up. Okay, so now it's 6:17. I took a while to get back. Okay, so where was I? I think I was supposed to read this, right? Well, let's see here. According to Prince Harry, they knew that Meghan was going to leave because of the bullying and abuse. However, they didn't expect him to follow her. They will never forgive her because the most charismatic guy in the royal family chose her. He chose love over loyalty to bigot. All right, so let's see here. It's 2 minutes, well, almost 2 minutes. That's when he was promoting Spare, and he was in the US, one of those night shows, promoting the book, I think.
My family, you
where's
know,
mine?
a really important point is we were forced to leave. We left in 2020. We moved out, we fled my home country. We moved to California. And for 12 months during lockdown, where we said literally nothing, it was relentless. And that was a real eye-opener for me. I never thought that we'd be away from it completely, but I did think that we would get some form of peace. But that's when I realized that actually our mere existence outside of that institutional control was more of a threat. And you know, there's a similar thing that happened to my mum as well. And look, they always knew that my wife was going to leave because of the way that they were abusing her. But I think the most embarrassing thing is that I just decided to leave with her.
Do they think the intent was to make her to leave or to break her spirit so she would be easier to control? Because either one would do,
Feels like
right?
a little bit like group therapy. You didn't know, did you?
It was just a...
You were saying again, I got a dinner reservation. What is this?
Exactly. Well, Harry, let's follow that feeling.
Both. I think both. I've never seen the level of abuse and harassment that I witnessed over my wife. Other members of the family, they've experienced different forms of that. But to see it happen the way that it happened, I was naive going into it. I didn't realise that the British press would be so bigoted. And even if I had, I wouldn't have accepted or understood that they could get away with it. But here we are, and we have created a fantastic life here in California, which is, by the way, it's beautiful, and America is a great place to live.
I don't know about now, with what we have now. Okay, there was something that he said, and I wanted to make reference to it because I mentioned it on the video that I just edited. I think it's somewhere here. Let's see here.
I think both. I've never seen the level of abuse and harassment that I witnessed over my wife. Other members of the family, they've experienced different forms of that.
Okay, that part. And my last video that I just edited is that some people make it seem like it's okay for those type of abuse to continue. It's okay for those people to receive those abuse. All right, so she was responding. I'm done with the video, by the way, and I made sure not to interfere with it until it was done. So she was responding to this tweet. Chris Evan, that's I call him Mr. Encyclopedia. Oh my goodness, that was back in 2024. Why do I feel like it was recent? Okay, why is the British media still obsessed with Meghan Markle? She doesn't even go there anymore. I thought y'all wanted her to leave. She did. All right, so she was... This is a squatty. I follow her. So that came under my timeline. Harry leaving wasn't part of their plan. Let's pause this. Okay, they didn't want the woman with the black DNA and their family. They tried to discourage him at the onset of the relationship. Let's see here.
Palace, and I could almost hear them saying, pull the shutters down. It's an invasion.
She's mixed race, she's American, she's a divorcee, actress. Those are 4 ticks. No member of the royal family, the senior members, ever thought they would see having to be ticked when it came to Harry's bride.
All the things that frightened the royal family have suddenly arrived on their doorstep. I can hear Diana laughing now.
Meghan's marrying into a family which has, to put it mildly, a dodgy track record on race. It's not Meghan Markle's problem, it's their problem.
that this woman
Oh,
existed.
let's pause there. It's gonna be screenshot for all of this, okay?
That was right at the beginning when she wasn't going to get security, when members of my family were suggesting that she carries on acting because there's not enough money to pay for her and all this sort of stuff. Like, there was some real obvious signs before we even got married that this was going to be really hard.
So in conclusion,
Okay, so there's the book
The
here.
Fields asked about Meg, not with great interest, just casually. Still, he didn't always ask, so I was pleased. She's good, thanks. Does she want to carry on working? Say again. Does she want to keep on acting? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I expect she'll want to be with me, doing the job, you know, which would rule out Suits, since they film in Toronto. I see. Well, darling boy, you know there's not enough money to go around. I stared. What was he banging on about? He explained, or tried to. I can't pay for anyone else. I'm already having to pay for your brother and Catherine. I flinched. Something about his use of the name Catherine. I remembered the time he and Camilla wanted Kate to change the spelling of her name because there were already 2 royal ciphers with a C and a crown above. Charles and Camilla. It would be too confusing to have another. Make it Catherine with a K, they suggested. I wondered now what came to that suggestion. I turned to Willie, gave him a look that said, "You listening to this?" His face was blank. Pa didn't financially support Willie and me and our families out of any largesse. That was his job. That was the whole deal. We agreed to serve the monarch, go wherever we were sent, do whatever we were told, surrender our autonomy, keep our hands and feet inside the gilded cage at all times, and in exchange the keepers of the cage agreed to feed and clothe us. Was Pa, with all his millions from the hugely lucrative Duchy of Cornwall, trying to say that our captivity was starting to cost him a bit too much? Besides which, how much could it possibly cost to house and feed Meg? I wanted to say, she doesn't eat much, you know, and I'll ask her to make her own clothes, if you like. It was suddenly clear to me that this wasn't about money. Pa might have dreaded the rising cost of maintaining us, but what he really couldn't stomach was someone new dominating the monarchy, grabbing the limelight. Someone shiny and new coming in and overshadowing him, and Camilla. He'd lived through that before and had no interest in living through it again.
Okay, so let's
Paul
stop this.
driving us out.
Oh my god. Okay, so they were okay with her leaving, but expected her husband to stay in the system, which was bullying and abusing his wife. That's one messed up firm. And then guess what? I don't think they will leave her alone. I really don't think they would, because if Harry had stayed, they will create another issue similar to when remember why Harry and Meghan had to pay for the renovation of the of Fragmore. There was issues, we're supposed to get access to you guys, we're giving you this house, it's the taxpayers' money. So Harry and Meghan said, okay, we want you to stay out of our private life, we're gonna pay for Fragmore renovation. They paid, and what did they do? They create another problem and another problem. They will never leave them alone. So, and the speed and the way Harry is exposing them, like they said, drip, 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 Harry is doing the dripping as well. Okay, little at a time, they're exposing the royal family. Eventually, I mean, I don't know how it's gonna be, but Harry's playing the long game with them. Okay, he saw his escape and took it. And before Meghan met Harry, Harry was dealing with the tabloid as well. They were throwing him to the wolves, and they never really cared for him. He saw his escape and took it, and he knew this from the start. Now he gets to live how he wants without all the stuffiness, scrutiny, fakeness, pomp and circumstance, blah, 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 that come with the royal family. His mom will be very happy for him. Okay, it's great to see the freedom he has in the US, just having some fun with Stephen over there, and choosing love over staying in the UK with that bigoted family was no contest. Okay, love him. And then let's not forget, this is something I feel. I've been saying that when they were dating, the kind of lifestyle, the laid back and the easy comfort that he saw Meghan was living, and then all of Meghan's friends kept their mouth shut Nobody knew they were dating. Only people around Meghan's circle knew. And everybody kept their mouth shut, and he was able to be himself. So all of that play a role into him making the decision. Because Meghan, I don't know in terms of their financial situation, but they were not, Meghan's friends were not going to sell the information that they're being together. Okay, love him. So glad he and his beautiful family have found peace. Like he should lose his wife and work for the institution until the Wells are older, then dump him, leaving him poor and broke. I mean, we think that way until the kids grow up, but they also use of using Harry. Even when the Wells kids get older, if Harry had stayed, they will want him to stay and take all the burden of the kids. Okay? It's probably until he is completely gone from this earth where the others will step up. Because they also use of abusing him. And Harry put a stop to it. Okay, after this one, that's it. This prompted me to go look at the whole Colbert interview. It is an eye-opener. I have gone from being someone who was always on their side to being an admirer. All right, let's go to the next tweet. Let's see here.
The alarm bells rang.
Okay. I don't know. I think I'm skipping some stuff here. Okay, let me pause and make sure I'm going the right way. I was way back. Okay. So this is the next one, I think. All right. I think, is this all? This is back in 2021. So why am I getting these old tweets again? But let's review them if some of us missed them. Okay, there's a lot of that been lost already. Oprah with Meghan and Harry Monday. Okay, so that's a promotion of the interview. So let's listen to this part. 28 seconds. I hope there's no music.
How do you feel about the palace hearing you speak your truth today?
I don't know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent if there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating falsehoods about us. And
this is what I'm saying with the lawsuit, the appeal. Okay, they consistently instigating, get themselves involved, them, the royal family, and then stirring the pot and making their life, meaning Harry and Meghan's lives, uncomfortable. They the one, the royal family, are the one who's inflicting all those unnecessary burden onto Harry and Meghan. And then they expect them to stay quiet. They just can't mind their own business and let Harry and Meghan live their lives. All right, so this was back in 2021, the Oprah interview.
if that comes with risk of losing things, I mean, there's a lot that's been lost already.
Okay, so Harry and Meghan have to tell their truth. Let's pause this. Okay, anyone else think the royals are an outdated institution that serves no purpose in modern society? All this back in 2021. Really looking forward to this, finally hearing their truth instead of the vitriol from the UK press. The jealousy, mean-spiritedness, and bitterness expressed in these comments are exactly why they left. Oprah wouldn't give Meghan time of day if she wasn't married to her. Oh, please. Alright, Meghan has lost nothing. Unfortunately, Harry loses. Oh my God! Let's leave that alone. This is old anyway. More is being revealed. What? 4 or 5 years since then, we see what they've been saying in the Oprah interview have come true. Okay, I saw a clip from the Oprah interview yesterday, back in 2023. This tweet was posted, and Meghan said something that has been overlooked. Harry and Meghan are still protecting that family. Listen to Meghan at the end of this clip. This is 30 seconds.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there?
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know, and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way
That it should have been.
the way that it should have been
With
done.
as much respect.
With as much
and,
respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
So what do you say to the people who say that? So in conclusion,
The part to protect them. Harry and Meghan try not to say too much to protect them, but they don't get it. They, the royal family, don't get it. And it's been since 2021 that interview was done. And then you see now more thing is revealing because the royal family refused to leave them alone. This is what I was just saying. Is the drip, drip, drip. Harry and Meghan are playing the long game with them. And more is being exposed of their involvement, of making their lives a living hell. Okay? So this clip, I have played it in many places, especially when I'm mentioning about William is the one who kicked them out. Because there's, in this clip at the beginning, Harry and Meghan were willing to stay. Let me play a few seconds of it.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there.
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sad that what's happened has happened.
Okay, so that's that part here. All right, so I'm done with this list. There's 2 extra ones that I have here. You know what? Let me just sneak it in this video. If I have to remove it, put it by itself, I'll do that. All right, next tweet. Prince Harry, quote, "There are things that have happened since 2016 that I can forgive. My family's involvement, my father, my brother, my stepmother. What I am struggling to forgive is a decision that was made in 2020 that is knowingly putting me and my family in harm's way." All right. I've said this in past videos that I recorded after he did the BBC interview, after the appeal judgment came. The BBC interview, I believe it was 30 minutes, but the one that I've shared with you and that I've come across, the longest was 4 minutes and 35 seconds and various small clips. And I think it was in this recording, and I saw some part where, what did the tweet say again? That the judges said something that this cannot go to legally. I forgot how it went, but there was a small little disclaimer that the judges sort of put in some shape or form to protect themselves. That I first came across it. All right. He has a heart of gold. There's the shade here. This is laughable. No one kicked him out of the family. Yes, his brother did. He left, and then he spent a lot of time defaming them. Okay, this needs to be put. Okay, so this is what I put here. William, is that you? A lot was said since the start of the trial. Oh. Okay. A lot was said since the start of the trial, not just the appeal. You people are effing idiots. Alright, so that's the part here where Prince William's aide played key role in Harry and Meghan's role exit. Alright. Let's see here. Okay. If anything he said in the book was false, the court is also open to the royal family, as the royal family has sued the British media before. You people are effing idiots. So let's do it here. And then there's that. Alright, let's go to my last one. Okay, this has to do with Invictus. I don't remember what it was about. And that will be my last one. Alright, I wonder what will happen if Invictus Games decided to hold the games elsewhere as a result of this ruling because they cannot ensure their patron and his wife's safety in the UK. Will the royal courtiers, royalist media, sycophants, the dog food receivers, and banshees be celebrating then? Okay, so I remember responding to that. Okay, so there's my response here. Okay, I don't think Harry will cancel, but Meghan is definitely staying in California for the next IG. He's not going to risk her safety. Okay, so there's me here responding to that. Not cancel, change location. South Korea or back to either Netherlands or Germany. The world will understand. I still can't understand why they choose that cursed country. The UK reps on the IG selection committee knew Prince Harry's safety wasn't guaranteed. I love the Invictus game and travel to support our vet, but I'll skip the UK. God willing, see you in IG 2029. That was something I posted for my members. Let's pause this. This is annoying. I posted for my members. The way that I see the world is going right now, at some point we will not be getting the true soldiers, the one, you know what, let's leave whatever I said for my members as that, but yeah, let's just leave that alone. It definitely will not be the same without Princess Meghan. Okay, so there's that. And the way they got this Invictus, it was crafted and manufactured in a way for them to get it. because the year prior, the Netherlands one, I remember putting, while I was covering the Netherlands Invictus, and I was like, where are officials in the UK to support, say something nice about the participant? There was none until the last day. Near the end, I came across a video where this guy from Defense something said something, and I put it in the video just to show you this is the only thing that I came across, because I was making a lot of fuss and complaint throughout all of the other videos that I did covering the Netherlands Invictus. Then the following year, the Germany one, out of nowhere, they spending millions of dollars or pound to get the Invictus. And I'm like, where did that money came from? Then they just said something that they don't have money for that particular city, I think it is. So they manufactured, spend all this money to get the Invictus. And, well, I don't know what to say. And some of the people who are on I wasn't even going for the US as well, because it was between the US and the UK. My whole support was for South Korea. I thought South Korea should have gotten it. Now, with things going like that, I don't know. Even the people who are on board with the Invictus, I don't think he should be telling them if he's coming. I don't know. Maybe that could be done over Zoom or electronically. He doesn't go physically. I don't know. All right, let's read this and then move on. I doubt Prince Harry is petty like that. Invictus is his baby. His sponsors will find a way to protect him and his family during the games. Plus, local security will also be provided by the city of Birmingham, where the games are being hosted. Again, I don't know. I don't want to, let me keep my mouth shut here, because they are in the soil of the UK. Look at the court judgment that just happened. Who has control of a lot of things? You know what? Go on PYTE. There's a video that I have. I said it has been done before. I'm not surprised by any of these things. I knew they were going to try to get him back. What they want is for him to be on the soil of the UK, so they could have control of his body, and Meghan cannot have said a damn thing. Harry better be careful. These are things I've said a long time ago, before all of this came. Okay, but then he said he has to be invited. Let's see here. Yes, he said he must be invited. IG27 doesn't fall under invitation since it's Harry's. Exactly, so I guess he can't go. God, I hope it doesn't go ahead minus Harry, and then the world decided to turn up for the first time in 10 years. That's a good point. It would be like the trips he has been making, was that to courts. I suspect Invictus will ensure his safety. I don't know. Look what happened to Santa Bali. I don't know. All right. I love for Prince Harry to remove IG from UK. He's a better person than me. UK should never ban in the contention till this is sorted. UK using IG for economic benefit to area, but UK government officially hosting. So this should be an official invite with full security level, but don't trust UK. I don't know. It's up to Harry. I don't think either the US and the UK should have gotten, well, the US is out. Anyway, the UK should have gotten. South Korea should have gotten from the beginning. Okay? That will never happen. The subject of Birmingham should not be punished for King Charles the Cruel action. But okay, I'm not from the UK and I'm not from the town of Birmingham. From what I saw, coming from someone from the outside, there were some laws that were implemented for the city of Birmingham that caused it to need money. Okay? Those officials, those government officials were implementing laws that make the situation of Birmingham to be in need of money. And then soon after, and they had, what is it? What's that other game that the UK has, but other countries did not? The Commonwealth game. Okay, that was supposed to be held in other countries. Is it down under? And then they said they don't have the money. Why then they host that? This is theirs. The Commonwealth game is theirs. Why didn't they host it? But instead, who's hosting it now? I don't remember. There's another part who's hosting it, but they're gonna downsize the game in a way to fit to whatever. Why didn't they focus on that? They spent that much money to get Invictus. Meanwhile, the Commonwealth game, who needed a host country, couldn't get. I mean, if this doesn't play out for Harry, I don't know what is. If I was him, let them host it, but instead of doing the thing, going in person and walk around and all of that, don't even bother. Do it electronically. So when I was recording this, I was talking on top of my head. So part of it were pretty much on point, where I believe it was Australia who was supposed to host the Commonwealth game, and they declined it due to financial situation. Then other cities from the Commonwealth decided to host it. And Birmingham, the same city again, I believe is the one who's gonna host it again. So all of a sudden there's money. When you look at social program and to take care of the city, there was no money. And then all of a sudden to get Invictus and do other things, money came. And then let's not forget as well, Charles, the firm, supposed to get an increase in funds. So I don't know what to say about this. I'm not from the UK. It's not my tax money that's going to any of these. So I'm not complaining. I'm just raising the issues that I see when the country, the people, the city needs money to take care of itself. There's none. But when to do the crazy things, there's always money. So it's up to the UK. That is all. Let's get back to the original recording. Okay, he gets security on a case-by-case basis. If he gives sufficient notice, then the invite games could be covered. Yes, but I don't know. Okay, I think they will never cheat him moving it out. IG will blast Harry into every news cycle onto TV screen every night. I mean, what's going on with him now? He's not even bothering them. They blast him every day. So nothing will change. I mean, he has a perfect excuse for not going in person to the UK. He has the perfect excuse. His security. Okay? Willie might actually have a stroke. Chuck will be vacationing out of the country. Okay? Oh, I would love to see the meltdown on Saltine Island if they decided to not have the games there. The wailing would be the epic. He will still receive it on a case-by-case basis. So for something like IG, he will receive it for himself, but not for his family. In other words, if it's beneficial to the royal family or government, country, he will receive it, but only him. They have done everything to keep his wife and kids away. That's true, but it's very sad. Okay, there's more comment. I'm done. Let's do a prayer. Prayer for safety. I don't know. Prayer. I don't know. He could say he's coming and then say something came up. He can't make it. Let's do something very small. Keep me safe, my God. For in you, I take refuge. Okay, let's just leave it as that. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Oh, this one came up in the middle of the night. I need to do a lot of thumbnails. I think 2 thumbnails I need to do. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. This one and that one. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
Tanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.